We all know that Minecraft Bedrock Edition isn't really preferred for Minecraft modding. That's eventually why Minecraft Java Edition exists in the first place, and I think it is no wonder for you all that Minecraft Java has all the good and powerful world editing tools such as World Edit or the newest mod Axiom for example too. And no one should be really interested in doing some crazy world editing on a Minecraft edition where modding is almost impossible, right? Well, Mojang developers don't think so, and a couple of weeks ago they released a beta of their brand new Bedrock creator tools, a quote-unquote Axiom alternative that is meant for doing maps, editing terrain, and much more. Basically a very powerful world editor but in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, which really surprised me seeing this, so it got me thinking, just how good is it and how comparable is it to the well-known Axiom? So today I'm gonna compare Minecraft's official creator tools to the Axiom mod. I'm gonna compare performance as well as overall features, interface, and so on. Now keep in mind that Minecraft creator tools are still in beta and was released not a long time ago, whereas Axiom exists since last year. With that said, take every downside that I will say about the new creator tools with a grain of salt. And just before I start the comparison, here are my PC specs, Minecraft versions of the mods and mod loaders on Java. On Java, I thought it will be enough when I allocate around 12 GB of RAM, and finally, let's start the comparison. I'm gonna start with the most obvious thing here. It's the interface of both Axiom and creator tools, and this is where things get interesting because at one point we have a little complicated, I'd say Photoshop-like interface in Axiom, whereas Minecraft creator tools, from now on I'd call them shortened just CT, has a similar interface but a whole lot simpler, I'd say. Now the question, which is actually better? Now it may sound ridiculous to you, but for me, despite Axiom having a little more complicated looking UI in my opinion, I actually get used to Axiom's UI a lot faster than the UI in the CT, and the reason behind that is simple. CT's UI is really inconvenient and laggy, and by that I mean even the game itself isn't as laggy as the UI is. Take a look at this. My game is running at 144 FPS, but as soon as I want to select another block from the CT's menu, the game limits itself to 10 frames per second. Just why? Or this, when I wanna equally move and select tools, CT just doesn't let you do that. You can either stay at the same position and select something in the UI, edit something and stay at the same position as well, or fly, look around and do nothing, but doing multiple things at once just doesn't work. And despite these issues, I got used to the UI anyways. It's just not as fast and snappy as the UI in Axiom, so this point clearly goes to Axiom as it is way simpler and snappier to navigate through its menu, even though it's a little more complicated. Not to mention your customization abilities of the UI, being able to position the UI how you want and where you want on screen, and tons of features to choose from. Speaking of features, let's take a quick look at how many building tools CT does offer. I could count around 12 available tools on CT, and on Axiom we have Magic Select, Box Select, Freehand Select, Ruler, 31 tools, almost 3 times more than in CT, but to make this comparison fair, we of course have to compare tools which are available on both platforms. Let's make this quick. Selection tool. In CT, the selection tool works okay. Not amazing, not good, just okay. Only because each time you need to click once and then drag these points to whenever you want. However, if we compare it to Axiom, it is so much better than CT. I mean, just look at how smooth and snappy the selection works. The winner is pretty obvious. Face preview aka clipboard. This is interesting. I do like the clipboard preview on the Bedrock Edition more than on Axiom, because on Bedrock Edition you don't have to press Ctrl V each time. You can just toggle that tool, preview your clipboard and paste it in. It's that easy. On Axiom you need to press the Ctrl V each time, so it is a little bit worse in my opinion, but for that you are getting way more features such as simply rotating or placing it wherever you want. But I think it is a matter of preference. I do like CT more, but I have to go with Axiom on that one just because of these extra features. Line. This tool allows you to draw straight lines with blocks, and on Axiom a similar tool is called Path, and they work nearly identical except Axiom has tons of features loaded into this tool, so here I have nothing special to say. But again, Axiom is just better. Ruler is a ruler. Works fine on CT, better on Axiom because of the snappier UI, so here again nothing special but better on Axiom because of the UI. Brush paint aka freehand draw. They both are almost identical as well, except Axiom Axiom can go up to 50 blocks radius, while CT can only handle 20 blocks, and Axiom has a little more figures as well. Extrude tool works better on Axiom because you can at least see which blocks you're extruding, and on CT you can't. And that's pretty much it with the tools that are available on both platforms and that are somehow identical. Throughout my comparison, I also did a couple of performance benchmarks to give you an idea on how they both perform. I kept both editions at 32 chunks, and here are the graphic settings on both Java and Bedrock Edition. And my test showed that Minecraft Bedrock Edition was using less RAM, and it was also utilizing slightly less CPU than Java Edition with Axiom. But otherwise it was extremely laggy compared to Java by doing the exact same things, as you can see. So with that being said, let's come to the conclusion. I think it's pretty fair if I end my comparison at this point because there is nothing really huge left to compare. In conclusion, I can say the creator tools are really unfinished, which is expected for my beta version of them, so right now they are barely comparable to what we have in the Java edition. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to say that the creator tools are a piece of shit and Axiom is better by doing a comparison of a 1-year-old mod and a 1-month-old feature. So again, take every downside of this new tool mentioned with a grain of salt. It is incredible what Mojang added into Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and I am glad that they started adding things like that, even though if you want to build something big in your world right now, I personally would recommend using Axiom but not this tool. Like I said, it is unfinished, laggy, and lacks features. However, I do believe that this has a huge potential in the future, but nowadays just no. Subscribe.